Okay, so here's where we're gonna get into something really fascinating for me. Visual aids are a kind of third partner in your collaboration. And this is really important. This takes us into our next area. Okay, creative strategies. We're getting into the fun stuff now. Okay, so check this out. This is so cool. Research indicates that people are more creative when they are less focused. So let that sink in. People are more creative when they're less focused.
There's really nothing to worry about, Mary. Statistically, they say you're more likely to get killed on the way to the airport. In a head-on crash or flying off a cliff or getting trapped under a gas truck. That's the worst. I have this cousin. Well, I have this cousin.
Lloyd, could you keep your eyes on the road, please?
Oh, yeah. Good thinking.
Okay, so here's what happens. When people are video conferencing, there's a tendency to become hyper-focused on that other person you're talking to focus completely on your screen at the expense of anything else that might be going on around you. But here's the thing. The magic of creative collaboration relies on distractions. So as I mentioned earlier, a visual aid is an example of just this type of distraction, if we can call it that. If you're working on a poem together and you're on a roll and you got this great creative synergy going, well, there's got to be a place for that energy to go. And that third element serves that purpose. A shared whiteboard, a real-time document. Maybe you're working on a video project and you're working in the same editing software. So these are vital third elements to have when you're working creatively over video conference. But let's take this a step further and think about the value of introducing fourth or even fifth elements. So think about all those things that in other contexts over video conferencing would be considered distractions. So these are things like your physical space, other screens, pets coming in the room, food, drink, etc. So bouncing around your focus in a creative setting is actually helpful. So for those of you who might have been diagnosed with ADHD, you might actually be wired for creativity in this sense. We could explore for hours why creativity works in this way, but for now, just know that these other elements, besides just the person that you're talking to, should be essential parts of your collaboration.
You could feed them 10 times a day, and they'll always be just about this hungry. Hey, I have to go to work. Yeah, I have to go to work. Okay? All right, I'm going to set him right over here and let him finish lunch. And while he's doing that, we'll just get started.
Now, creativity is play. But in order to actually create a final product, creativity needs to be paired with some logical thinking. Science! This includes frameworks like agendas for your meeting, deadlines, goals, being responsible in completing tasks. All this requires a shift out of that creative thinking and distractions. In fact, the famous clothing designer, Karl Lagerfeld, he used to separate these two modes of working by changing the color of his trademark fingerless gloves. You can experiment with this if you like. If you're a person that likes to create, get comfortable with this other part of creating. Otherwise, you're just kind of floating around all over the place. One final word on creative strategies: trust. Trust is another vital part of creative collaboration. One way to build this trust is by simply following through on commitments, even the small ones. Doing what you say you will do demonstrates reliability and respect for your collaborator and for the project itself. These things are important.